Hey everybody, welcome back to Game Borders. Today we're going to be reviewing an expansion for Raiders of the North Sea, and this expansion is called Hall of Heroes. So I am Spencer.
I'm Drayden.
And I'm Stalone.
And we're going to go to the table, show you what's involved in the box and how it intermingles with the game, and then we're going to come back here, tell you what we thought of it. Okay, so we are about to look at what comes in this expansion of Raiders of the North Sea. This expansion is called Hall of Heroes. And let's get right into it. So I've already got the stuff out of the box. I'm just going to push this box aside. And here are the components that comes into it. So this is the most exciting part of the game here, the expansion. It comes with these player mats. So these player mats are going to hold all your Vikings that are on your ship, so you can have up to 5, and it's also going to track quests, and that's a new thing that comes with this expansion, and I'll get into that in a sec. It also lets you track your offerings that you do in the base game, and it also has a little place to put your meeple, nice little hut for them. So, and it also lets you know how much of each resource you can handle or you can hold. It also has a mead. That's in the other expansion, which you can check out as well on our video. So we review both of them, and I'll go over those resources in that other expansion video. So let me see if I can get a closer up picture of this. So that's kind of there. And that's how it looks all the way through. Hopefully I didn't go too fast for you guys. But great looking boards. And it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these boards. So this can be up to 6 players now with if you have both expansions. If you only have the base game and this expansion, you can only play with 5 players. But it comes with 6 boards just in case you get the other expansion. So that's the best part of this. The other part is that it adds this board here, and I'll go through this again as well. So you've got that, and you're going through, and there we go. Now I'll explain what comes on this. So this is going to go on the bottom. It's going to butt up next to the bottom of the base game board, and it's going to give you another place to go when you're in town. You're another worker. You can put a worker here, and you can draw heroes. So you'll have these, your regular townfolk cards, and this expansion comes with 30 new ones. So you've got, you've got different guys there and gals. They all have their different abilities. They're all marked with this little symbol here in the corner of this, and it has to do with these symbols as well. Now those symbols, so right here we would put our 3 guys, and you also are going to put something else that comes with this expansion, these tokens. So you, at the beginning of the game, you're going to draw, there comes a stack of them, but you're only going to randomly draw 4 of them. So we'll just draw these 4, and they all have different symbols. So you got that one, this one, that one, and that one. So these are all going to go here face up so you can see them. Now what these do are their rewards for if you do a lot of quests, and I'll go through quests because that's something else this expansion brings to the table. So when you go to here, when you put your worker here, you can take one of these, and if you take, like if I take this one, I get 1 mead, and that's another thing that comes in this game. Let me pull these out. So the mead tokens are orange, and they look like that. So they look like little goblets of mead. So if you take this guy, you get the guy in your hand, not in your ship, but in your hand, and he comes with 1 mead. If you take this one, you get a mead and a silver. If you take this one, you get 2 mead and 1 silver. So say I took this person, I would get the silver and the mead, and he would go into my hand. Then this guy will shift up and I would put another townfolk here. So they're always going to shift this way. So if someone gets this one, these both are going to shift up, and you're going to do another townfolk there. So, and then it's just going to keep cycling through. So that's this side of the board. The other side that you can do, if you don't want to do this, you want to go questing. So quests are going to look like this, and they have different things on them and different types of quests. So let me show you. So those are two different types of quests. You've got a sword and a map. There's also like a, I don't know, trinkets. It looks like a mini sack. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys to determine what it is. But there's also little symbols you see here at the bottom. That's the reward. So right here's the reward, and this is the strength that you need to complete this quest, and I'll explain how that works. So these are the types of quests, and if you get 3 of the same type, so if I complete 3 of the same type of quest, then I can come here and I get one of these perks as well, and each of these do different things. Like this one just gives you straight 2 victory points. This one means that you can get rid of 1 silver for 1 armor, and you know, and this one has 1 gold and 1 provision. So those, they all do different types of things. Once someone acquires one, you do not flip another one. That is empty. So as soon as they're all gone, that's it. You can't do any more. So limited supplies of those. These quests, how they work is, once a spot is rated on the map, you take this quest or a quest, you just draw them at random, and you place that on the used up or the rated township. So at the rated township, now you can, after rating it, you're going to have this on there as a quest. You can go here to complete this quest that's on the board. So how you do that is you're going to have, say you have several people not on your ship but in your hand. So say I have these guys in my hand. I am going to try to complete this quest that takes a strength of 6, indicated there at the top. So I'm going to take, let's take these 2 because that is a value of 6 strength when you add both of them up. So you got 4 and 2. So I will discard these guys. They go away out of my hand, and I complete this quest. And that goes on my little board here. So that goes at the top to indicate that I've completed 1 quest. So then I can complete 2. And then if I complete a 3rd one of that same kind, then I get one of these. And not only do I get the 2 victory points that come with it, or whatever it says at the bottom, this also counts as an additional quest going there, giving me more points at the end of the game to be scored up. So if I get all these quests, then at the end of the game you can get up to 16 victory points for completing all these quests and line them up here. So that's pretty much what comes in this expansion. The mead here, what this is good for is when you go raiding, say my ship has this many people on. Actually, let's get this board out again, because this is our ship now. Say I've got this many people on my ship and I'm going raiding, and I don't quite have enough strength to get the victory points I want. I can add this mead before I roll the dice to get the extra stuff, the extra strength. Before I do that, I can also place however many mead, up to 8, on someone. So if I add 2 mead onto this guy, his strength is now increased by 2. So that's why it's good to have mead for when you're going raiding. Alright, well, now that we've taken a look at what's in the box and how it works with the game, let's go over what we thought about it.
Very, very good.
Stalls, why don't you start us off?
Me to start? All right, we'll start with art, right? That's where we're starting?
Yep. Art number 1.
Art, and I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but the previous review, I didn't love the art, but I retook a glance at it, and I was wrong.
You came around.
Fantastic art. You swayed me. It took a while to get it, but I went back for a second glance of the art of the overall game, including the expansion. I gave it a 7. I bumped
Nice.
it way up. It was nice.
What did you have it before?
I think it was average. Might have been a little, 4 or 5. Not that great, but it's awesome. Look at, I mean, it's pretty great.
I love the art.
That was my fault.
Unlike these guys, my opinions didn't change. It's still at an 8. I like the artwork for this game.
Nice.
It was very nice.
And actually, for me, the artwork, I think overall I gave it a little bit lower, but for this
I thought you gave it
expansion,
pretty
I
high.
gave it.
You gave it a
10.
19.
Yeah, a 19. I had
Looks
it
like
at-
19.
I had it at a 9, changed it to a 10. I think as far as art goes, I don't think you can get much better than that. I'd say that's dang near perfect art for
You can get better,
the
but
style
it's
of
good.
game and
It's
how it plays.
Yeah.
So perfect 10 on the art for me.
All right. You
Yeah,
want to
so-
go back around this way? Or you want
Yeah,
me
let's
to keep
go
going?
back. So I'll do the
Round
game
robin, do it.
components. Game components. For this expansion, I gave a 10. It comes with the player
Makes
boards
sense.
that completely change the game, and then it also adds, a lot of the mead, which are those
Yep.
thicker wood meeples. I just give it a 10 on the components. I think it really stepped it up.
It's hard to
Okay.
argue with that.
Well, I've only ever played it with this game board, and I guess the tokens were the same. They didn't really impress me any much more than usual, so I'm still a 9 on this one.
It's still dang,
Yeah, it's still
dang
a
near
9.
perfect.
Good score.
Well, see, I felt like
Hated
I was
everything
being
about it, but it was a
generous with my 8, just because that's pretty dang high. I loved it. I think I absolutely love all the components. I love the game board that you get that all your people can go on top of. I love the
necessary.
extra little hall of heroes where you can kind of see your heroes and which ones you want to pick out.
Yeah, you
that
get
was
to
pretty
choose
nice.
them.
And I used the mead quite often.
As did I.
So I gave it an 8. I felt like that was pretty high and pretty good. I loved it. So.
I was a little booze hound in it, so.
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
I'll
you go to
go to length. The length, I just put it a standard 5. I feel like it adds a little bit more, but it doesn't feel like it adds a whole lot more. So the length it is a little bit longer with the missions and the extra heroes and extra things that
Right.
you can do with your meeple.
I
It
think
didn't
I'd make
hurt
it
the
go
game.
quicker.
I don't know. It didn't make it faster, but it didn't really feel like it hurt it too bad. So I
My
gave it a
length
5.
is still at a 7. The game is long, but it's.
It is long.
So,
It's
But
a long
this
one.
thing I actually think would add speed to it, or I'd make it so it's quicker.
I think I agree with you.
Because it gives you more options.
Yeah, but those don't finish the. Well, I guess they do.
Well,
You
hear
do
what I have to
that.
say,
Okay,
and then
let's
I'll
go to
persuade you.
Learn me
I-
something new right now, bud.
I agree with Drayden on it. This expansion, I gave the length a 10 because the overall game is a little lengthy. This makes it manageable. You've got your player board, so you see what's going on faster. It's lined up. You got the questing that can actually speed up the game. It adds another ending mechanism.
Yeah.
It does another
So I think
end
if
it.
anything, that speeds it up. So I give it a perfect 10 on the game length
Wow.
for this
No-
expansion.
No holding back.
Not the whole
guy.
game,
You
but
really-
for this expansion, I think it helps the overall length of the game.
Yeah, I see it. I feel like there's some. It adds a quicker way to end it. It adds more stuff to do. Right in the middle for me. I don't feel like you changed my mind. I might bump it up to a 6. We'll see.
Well, you're wrong, but that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
All right, so now let's go into the downtime of this game or this expansion.
Expansion.
I don't think it did much for downtime. Actually, I think it added a little bit to the downtime because you're looking and you've got
Yep.
3 heroes you can choose from
Agree.
in the meat hall. So
strategies,
I
characters.
did an 8 on that. Didn't add much, but it didn't help it
No,
much
so-
either.
So even the things that hurt the game are still an 8 for you.
Well, I'm just saying I'm just talking about this overall expansion.
Okay,
It didn't help with the downtime.
Right.
My downtime is at a 5. It's
Yeah,
slow
about-
game.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Slow going until it's like the last 2 turns, as
Yep.
usual.
and it like all sneaks up on you real
Yeah.
quick.
I did downtime. I did mine at actually a 4, so it was just below average. Because we're saying that 5 is average, right? 10 isn't average, Spence? Like you were thinking.
7's about average.
Well, 10 is like
Just all your numbers have been pretty high, so
Well,
it almost
I
feels
love
like
this
8 is average
expansion.
for you. But no,
Spoiler alert! I love this expansion.
I also loved it a lot. But I just did 4. I feel like 5 is the average. I did feel like it added a little bit more downtime with having to read the heroes in the Hall of Heroes, having to read the missions and what to do with them. It added just a little bit, which I'm not a fan of downtime. So whenever it adds downtime, I'm gonna knock it down a little bit.
Didn't
So I
add
went
much, but yeah,
Not
it did
much.
add.
It was just below average, I'd say. So, Setup and cleanup, I think that was average. It did add a little bit more cleanup and setup, but it wasn't, again, it wasn't too much that it was like, oh no, we've got to do this. Plus, with having the character boards in front of you, even though that adds a little bit, it still feels like it was necessary.
Keeps it all organized.
So
So
what was
it's
your-
5, right in the middle. I don't think it added, I don't think it took away. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good spot.
I'm at a 5 too. It doesn't add a lot of small tokens, and you got the board that helps organize all your stuff, but you know, it is still.
All right, so I think I'm rating mine a little differently. I put my cleanup and downtime at an 8.
See,
so what I did is
your
I worked
average
back
is 10.
Well, I worked back from like this. Here's a perfect expansion. The downtime or the cleanup, it does add to it, so it
So
notches it down from perfect.
You're going into this game, this
Yeah,
review with
you're
the
right
perfect
off the bat
score
saying
already.
this is perfect.
Well, that's what
And you're counting
yeah,
down.
that's how I'm reviewing it. Is if it's perfect, what or bringing it down from perfect.
Okay,
And I
we're
think-
playing if it's average, what makes it more than average?
Okay, so but yeah, I put the cleanup and setup at 8 because it does add some
Okay.
with the player
Okay.
board and the quests and the me. You have to clean all
That's
that
fine.
stuff.
I get that. It's a great expansion. I respect your think
So-
you're wrong on that, but I respect it, so we can move on.
All right, so now the replayability. I actually gave this a perfect 10.
Whoa, what a surprise.
I know.
But I respect it. I respect it a
It
lot.
came out of nowhere. So the reason why I'm giving it a perfect 10 is because it adds so much replayability to the game, and
Yeah,
and that's just as simple as it is, man. I don't know. It just adds a lot of replayability.
I agree with that. Man.
Yeah, I think this game has a lot of good replayability. I've been more up with an 8 or a 9 just because the setup and cleanup and everything, and the downtime is kind of a
Yes, come to my
negative. I
side
can
of
see
the
that.
fence.
Yep.
But I do love playing the game, and I think this expansion adds a lot to that.
Yep. And then
I went replayability. I put it at a good 8. I could even bump it up to a 9 because I feel like this is absolutely almost necessary for the overall game. So to add to that replayability for this specific expansion, if you're going to pull out Raiders of the North Sea, pull out Hall of Heroes.
I say if you're gonna buy Raiders of the North Sea,
buy Hall
this
of
is a
Heroes, yeah.
must
Yeah.
I
buy
would say that.
expansion.
I can support that.
Yeah, I would say don't even buy the base game unless you're gonna buy
Yeah.
this expansion. So
Yeah, so I think overall I'm about an 8, 9. I could be swayed right to a 9, but it's necessary for the game.
I would give this expansion, not the overall game, this
Oh, yeah, just
expansion,
this expansion.
a solid 10. It is a must-have if you have the base game. So,
I'm a 8 or 9.
8 or 9, okay, well,
I like it.
there you guys have it. You've got the scoop on it. So if you like the video, then put a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you liked it, and come back to see
Hit us
other
up on
videos.
Patreon.
Yeah,
We don't have a
and
Patreon.
comment on the video. Let us know what you thought, and if you guys
That actually
want
ruins it. Sorry, guys.
us to review a different video, post in the comments if we can, we'll do that. So until next time, I'm Spencer.
I'm Drayden.
And I'm Stallone. We'll see you later.
Bye.